You've been thinking about it. Not out loud, maybe not even consciously, but somewhere in the back of your head, the question is sitting there. Do I actually have enough to stop? And the frustrating part is that nobody gives you a clear answer. Your financial advisor says it depends. The internet gives you a number that feels made up. Your gut says something, but you're not sure if you should trust it. So you keep working, not because you love it, because you're not sure. Here's what I want to do today. 6 signs, actual concrete signs that suggest you might already be there. Not guarantees, not a formula that works for everyone, just a framework that helps you see your situation more clearly than you did before. Let's get into it. Sign 1, your expenses are stable and you know exactly what they are. This sounds basic, it's not. Most people approaching retirement have a vague sense of what they spend. They know roughly what the mortgage costs, roughly what groceries run, but vague doesn't work here. Vague is how people run out of money. If you can sit down right now and produce an accurate monthly spending number, broken down by category, accounting for irregular expenses like car repairs and medical bills and the annual vacation, that's sign 1. You know your number. That matters more than almost anything else on this list. Sign 2, your guaranteed income covers at least 70% of your expenses. Guaranteed income is Social Security, a pension, rental income, anything that shows up regardless of what the market does. If that floor covers 70% or more of what you actually spend, your investment portfolio is only being asked to fill a small gap. That's a fundamentally different retirement than one where savings have to cover everything. Run the number honestly. Social Security at your actual claiming age, not the estimate from 5 years ago, the real number. Sign 3, you have at least 1 to 2 years of expenses in cash or stable assets. Markets drop, sometimes badly, sometimes right after you retire. There's a name for what happens when you're forced to sell investments at a loss just to pay your grocery bill. Sequence of returns risk, and it's one of the most common reasons people who looked financially ready still ended up in trouble. If you have a cash cushion that lets you live for a year or two without touching your investments during a downturn, you've neutralized the biggest part of that risk. You don't have to sell low. You wait, the market recovers. You refill the cushion. Without that buffer, a bad first 2 years can permanently damage a retirement that looked perfectly fine on paper. This is not a nice to have, it's structural. Sign 4, your investment portfolio can sustain a 4% annual withdrawal or less. This is the math most people have heard of, and look, it's not perfect. It was designed for a 30-year retirement, and if you're retiring at 55, your timeline is longer. But as a starting checkpoint, it works. Take your annual spending gap, the amount your guaranteed income doesn't cover, and multiply it by 25. That's the rough portfolio size you need at a 4% withdrawal rate. If your portfolio is at or above that number, you're in the zone. If you're planning to retire before 65, consider multiplying by 28 or 30 instead to give yourself more runway. Sign 5, you've actually modeled what healthcare costs before Medicare. This is the one that blindsides people more than any other. Medicare kicks in at 65. If you're retiring at 60 or 62 or even 64, you have a gap. And filling that gap on private insurance is expensive, really expensive. Depending on your health and location, you could be looking at $800 to $1,500 a month per person. If you've run that number, built it into your budget, and your plan still works, that's a meaningful sign. Most people haven't done this calculation at all. Sign 6, you've thought about what you're retiring to, not just what you're retiring from. This one isn't financial, and it might be the most important one on the list. The retirees who struggle aren't always the ones who ran out of money. A lot of them ran out of purpose. They spent 30 years defining themselves by their work, and then the work stopped and they didn't know what they were. If you have a genuine answer to the question, what does my time look like in retirement? That's a sign you're ready in a way that goes beyond the math. Travel, community, hobbies, family, creative work, whatever it is, as long as it's real and not just theoretical. The financial plan keeps you alive. This part is what makes it worth living. And if you don't have a real answer yet, that's worth sitting with before you hand in your notice. Not because retirement won't work without it, but because you'll figure it out a lot faster when you're also panicking about money at the same time. Here's the honest version of all of this. No checklist tells you with certainty that you're ready. Anyone who says otherwise is selling something. But if most of these 6 things are true for you, stable expenses, strong income floor, cash buffer, sustainable withdrawal rate, healthcare accounted for, and a life you're actually moving towards, you're probably closer than you think. The people who wait for absolute certainty never retire, because absolute certainty doesn't exist. At some point, you look at the numbers, you look at your life, and you make a decision. The goal isn't to eliminate risk, it's to understand it well enough that you can live with it. You might already be there. All right, that's all for now. We'll see you next time.